Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now, today I'm going to be revisiting Blue October because I've had several of their tracks suggested to me a while back and they've been sitting on my list for a while, so I thought it's about time I went back and had a look at another one. And we're going to be looking at a track called Hate Me. Now, I learnt the hard way that I should, when I look at Blue October, I should look at their live performances, because the first track of theirs I reacted to, I think it was it Dirt Room? What's that then? Can't remember. But the first track of theirs I listened to was a music video, and several people actually said that their live performances come across so much better because there's more sort of emotion and feeling behind the songs when they sing live than when they do the music videos. So when I did other videos of theirs, I've looked at live performances, and they were right. The performance was a lot more emotional through the live video. So with this track, Hate Me, I am looking at a live version of the song. Since I've covered the band before, I don't really need to say much about them, so I think we'll get straight into the song itself. I've got the lyrics up here as usual, and we shall see what happens. So, Hate Me by Blue October. Let's get on with it.
Hey, Justice is your mother. It is 2:33 on Monday afternoon. I was just calling to see how you were doing. You sounded really uptight last night. It made me a little nervous, well, it made me nervous, but it sounded like you were nervous too. I just want to make sure you are really okay, and just wanted to see if you were checking in on your medication too. I love you, and I'm concerned. Take care, honey. I know you're under a lot of pressure. See ya. Bye-bye.
I have to block out thoughts of you so I don't lose my head. They're crawling like a cockroach, leaving babies in my bed, dropping little reels of tape to remind me that I'm alone, and playing movies in my head that make a porno feel like home. And there's a burning in my pride, a nervous bleeding in my brain, and ounce of peace is all I want for you. Will you never call again? And will you never say that you love me, just to put it in my face? And will you never try to reach me? It is I that want to hate me today. Come on, Texas! Hate me tomorrow. Hate me so you can finally see what's good, baby. And I'm sober now for 3 whole months. It's one accomplishment that you helped me with. The one thing that always tore us apart is the one thing I won't touch again. In my sick way, I wanna thank you for holding my head up late at night. I was busy waging wars on myself. You were trying to stop the fight. You never doubted my warped opinions on things like suicidal hate. You made me compliment myself when it was way too hard to take. And so I'll drive so fucking far away, I never cross your mind, and do whatever it takes in your heart to leave me. Hate me today. Yeah. Hate me tomorrow. Hate me for all the things I didn't do, babe. Hate me in ways, yeah, ways hard to swallow. Hate me so you can finally see what's good, babe.
This is an amazing song. It is, despite the aggressive nature of the name, it is actually a really beautiful song in its own way. And he seems to be talking to someone or about someone who he had a relationship with, who he's now possibly separated from. And he's basically saying, you know, like, you deserved better than me. You know, you have every right to hate me. You should hate me. Put me out of your mind. You know, I don't deserve to be thought of by you because, you know, you did so much for me. You looked after me when I was going through, you know, when I was a real horrible person. You know, it's actually a very beautiful song. And there was actually a little bit right at the beginning, which is a pre-recorded bit. It says, if you're sleeping, are you dreaming? If you're dreaming, are you dreaming of me? I can't believe you actually picked me. Now, apparently this is actually part of the chorus from a track called Calling You. And apparently this track and Calling You were both written for the same person. And apparently this track is actually written as an apology letter. You know, so in the beginning it says, I can't believe you actually picked me, from the other song Calling You, which I'm guessing is talking about how he met this person and the relationship that they had then. This is sort of turning around going, you know, he's saying, I can't believe you picked me, and now he's turning around going, you know, I wish you never had actually picked me, because I was so horrible and bad for you. So it's interesting. And then it went on to a answer phone message, and apparently this answer phone message is actually a message that his mother actually left for him at one point. It just says, hi Justin, this is your mother, and it's 2:33 on a Monday afternoon. I was just calling to see how you were doing. You sounded really uptight last night, and it made me a little nervous. And well, it made me nervous. It sounded like you were nervous too. I just wanted to make sure you were really okay, and I wanted to see if you were checking in on your medication. You know I love you, and take care, honey. I know you're under a lot of pressure. See ya. Bye-bye. You know. So, you know, the message, from what I understand, came from his mother around the time of the incident that this song is covering. So, you know, it shows, you know, that he was obviously showing bad signs of, like, depression and upset and stuff like that. And I believe he suffered from bipolar disorder as well, or something like that. I can't remember. I know he had some mental health issues at some point. Anyway, the song went in. I have to block out the thoughts of you so I don't lose my head. They crawl in like a cockroach, leaving babies in my bed. Dropping little reels of tape to remind me that I'm alone. Playing movies in my head that make a porno feel like home. There's a burning in my pride, a nervous bleeding in my brain. An ounce of peace is all I want for you. Will you never call again? And will you never say that you love me just to put it in my face? And will you never try to reach me? It is I that wanted space. So the first line there, I have to block out thoughts for you so I don't lose my head. Basically, I need to stop thinking about you before I go absolutely crazy, before I completely lose my mind. And then they crawl in like a cockroach, leaving babies in my head. So it's like, you know, I've got to stop thinking about you, but they always manage to creep back in, and it's, you know, they leave little sort of memories dotted around, and it's you know, driving him mad. It says dropping reels of tape to remind me that I'm alone, which basically just another way of saying, you know, memories, you know, sort of reliving moments that happened. It says put more movies in my head that make a porno feel like home. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, when they had a relationship, it was really good, really passionate, and there was a lot of physical interaction, shall we say. And an ounce of peace is all I want for you. Will you never call again? So, you know, he wants her to have a peaceful life. He wants her, you know, to have the life that she deserves. You went into the hook, hate me today, hate me tomorrow for all the things I didn't do for you. Hate me in ways, ways that are hard to swallow. Hate me so you can finally see what's good for you. And, again, that says so much, It's like, just hate me for what I've done. I was horrible to you, I was atrocious to you. Just hate me, I deserve it. I didn't do anything for you, you did everything for me, So, no matter how hard it is, you should hate me because I deserve it. And, you'll finally see, if you hate me, you'll finally see why I was so bad for you and what is so good for you. It carried on. I'm sober now for 3 whole months. It's one accomplishment that you helped me with. The one thing that always tore us apart is the one thing I won't touch again. In a sick way, I want to thank you for holding my head up late at night. While I was busy waging wars on myself, you were trying to stop the fight. You never doubted my warped opinions on things like suicidal hate. You made me compliment myself when it was way too hard to take. So I'll drive so far away that I never cross your mind, and do whatever it takes in your heart to leave me behind. So, again, the opening lines there, sober now for 3 whole months, is one accomplishment that you helped me with. I haven't touched a drink in 3 months, and that's thanks to you. But then the following lines says the one thing that always tore us apart is the one thing I won't touch again. So it's like, you helped me stop drinking, that's great, thank you very much for that. And the reason he stopped drinking is because it destroyed his relationship with her. So, he realised what he lost because of the alcohol, and now he's turning around and going, shit, if that's what it's doing to me, I need to stop this. And then he's like saying, in a sick way, I want to thank you for holding my head up late at night. While I was busy waging wars on myself, you were trying to stop the fight. So whilst he was going through all this turmoil, he was being possibly very horrible to this partner. He was being self-deprecating. He was possibly doing himself harm in some way or other. And she was always there trying to stop it from happening, trying to reassure him and trying to calm him down. You made me compliment myself when it was way too hard to take. So, she was always trying to make him see the good in himself, the positive side of himself. No matter how bad he got, she was always there trying to support him. And then it says, I'll drive so far away that I never cross your mind, and do whatever it takes in your heart to leave me behind. So it's like, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to distance myself as much as humanly possible, so you'll never have to see me in passing. So you won't think of me ever again. You won't sort of hear anything about me because I'll be so far away. And do whatever it takes to just completely forget about me, never think of me again. Don't yearn for me, pine for me, whatever. It's actually it's a beautiful song in a way. So this is going to be a long video, I think, because I'm doing a lot of talking. Anyway, we'll carry on.
Hate me today, hate me tomorrow, hate me for all the things I didn't do for you. Hate me in ways, yeah, ways hard to swallow. Hate me so you can finally see what's good for you. You are so beautiful.
Well, that was an amazing track. It was an amazing, beautiful, powerful, emotional piece of music. Unreal. I mean, again, you know, the live performance there was so much emotion and passion behind the song. It was fantastic, and this is something that they seem to lack in their music videos, in my personal experience. And you know, people have even said pretty much the same thing. You get more emotion from him when he's singing live, and you know, obviously this is a deeply personal song to him, and you know, you can feel and hear it in the way that he sings. The song carried on, and with a sad heart I say bye to you and wave, kicking shadows on the street for every mistake that I'd made. And like a baby boy, I never was a man until I saw your blue eyes cry and I held your face in my hand. And then I fell down yelling, make it go away. Just make a smile come back and shine like it used to be. And then she whispered, how can you do this to me? And then it went into that hook, hate me today, hate me tomorrow, hate me for all the things I didn't do for you. Hate me in ways, ways hard to swallow. Hate me fine so you can finally see what's good for you. So, you know, they came back in there with a sad heart, I say goodbye to you and wave. So, you know, he's upset that he has to say goodbye to her, but he knows it's the best thing to do because he knows that she'll never be happy with him because of the way he behaves, because of the way he treats her. And, you know, he sits there, there's a phrase there, kicking shadows on the street for every mistake I made. So, like, he's lashing out to the memories of all the bad things he'd done, wishing, like, they would just go away, you know, that he wouldn't think of them anymore, wishing that they'd never happened in the first place. And he says, like a baby boy, I never was a man. He considers himself, you know, he's not worthy of being a man. He can't call himself a man because of the way he behaved. He's not a man. He was a child. He behaved like a child. But the moment he saw her crying over what he'd done, all of a sudden everything just sort of fell away, and he was like, you know, what have I done? How could I have done this? You know, immediately he sort of came to the present where he should be, and he was sort of like, you know, what have I done? You know, he realised what he'd done. And he said, just make a smile come back and smile, shine like it used to. You know, it's like, I've hurt this beautiful woman. You know, I'd give anything just to see her smile again, but I know that's not going to happen because of everything that I've done. And then she whispered, how can you do this to me? I mean, that is a gut punch of a line. You know, she's tried so hard to help him through all of it. You know, she's tried to stay positive. She's tried to, you know, keep him afloat, essentially. But she's had no support system of him. So, you know, she's essentially sort of broken down and fallen apart. And, you know, it's because of him that this has happened. And, you know, whilst she's tried to stay positive all this time, it's gotten too much for her now, and she's just sort of like, you know, you've done this to me. You've essentially broken me, you know. And that's quite a hard line. It is a very beautiful and very powerful song. And I've said it before, you know, when people write songs like this about personal experiences, about something personal to them that has happened, you know, I give them so much appreciation and credit, because it's hard to convey things like this. It's hard to tell people about these points in your life where you weren't necessarily the nicest or best person, and, you know, you're holding your hands up, admitting to it, and sharing it with the whole world, essentially, saying, you know, I was not a very nice person, and, you know, I have upset, hurt, abused, whatever, other people. So, you know, credit where it's due, you know, for him opening up like that. And beautiful, very powerful song. Absolutely fantastic. I will actually check out the proper music video at some point, but I don't imagine it'll have the same impact as this did. But yeah, Very good, very beautiful. But I'll leave that as it is. If anybody would like to suggest a track from me let's try that again, shall we? If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so. By all means, you can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you can even message me on Patreon, should you ever feel compelled to help support me, so I can further create more videos, possibly better content. It's appreciated, but not necessary, obviously. But no, if you do suggest a track, it will take a while for me to get around to it, because I just get suggested so many tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record them. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so I will get around to it eventually, but it will take a while. Excuse me. And also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those hate crimes that are aimed towards people of the alternative subculture, people who dress in alternative fashion or listen to alternative music. Now, obviously, they want to put an end to all hate crimes, but their main focus is these hate crimes aimed towards the alternative culture, because, well, that's how the foundation came into being. Because every day we hear about hate crimes against, all different sort of walks of life. We've got racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, prejudice against disabled people, religious hatred. We hear these every single day. But we don't hear enough about the people that are getting violently attacked by people just because of the taste in music. Just because people like heavy metal, they are getting violently attacked. And, it's unacceptable, but it goes on all over the world every single day. And people are getting severely hurt for it because of it, And it's one of those things that I cannot make sense of. Because you don't attack someone because they like a different TV show to you. You don't attack someone because they like different movies, magazines, or books. So why is music the catalyst? Why should people be offended by the kind of music that you listen to? It makes absolutely no sense. I don't like acid house, trip hop, and stuff like that. But I don't condemn people that do. I don't bully them or attack them because of it. It's their choice. So why are people getting attacked because they listen to heavy metal music? It makes no sense. And, like I said, people are getting severely hurt and injured. In the case of Sophie Lancaster, a young girl was beaten to death because of her taste in music. And it is utterly, utterly ridiculous that something like that should happen over music. And, just because we like different music, just because we dress differently, doesn't mean that we're a bad person, doesn't mean we're a horrible person. Sophie Lancaster, the same day that she got attacked, earlier in the day, she was talking to a group of people who, listen to mainstream music. She was standing there having a laugh, having a conversation with people like this. There was no prejudice from her side against anybody about the kind of music that they listened to. And the people that she was speaking to earlier in the day, obviously, had no prejudice against her. However, on the night she was walking home with her boyfriend, a group of group of lads, took exception to the fact that she listened to alternative music. And they thought it was an acceptable and appropriate thing to do to attack her and her boyfriend and literally beat them. Her boyfriend thankfully survived, but Sophie Lancaster, she did not. She was beaten to death. Just because this group of youths didn't like the way that she dressed, didn't like the music she listened to, and it's unacceptable that something like that should happen. I mean, how the hell can anybody bring out a justification for that? There is no justification. It is unacceptable that it should happen. And it shouldn't happen. And this is the sort of thing that the Sophie Lancaster Foundation want to put a stop to. They don't want to see another family go through what they went through, seeing their teenage daughter get... Well, I can't remember how old she was, actually. She might have been in her 20s, can't remember. You know, they don't want to see somebody else go through what they went through. You know, their daughter was violently attacked. She was brutalised. She was beaten to death purely because of her taste in music. No other reason. You know, they didn't know her at all. And, you know, it needs to stop. So, you know, it's something I really strongly believe in. And if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description down below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their main goal is, because they can explain it so much better than I can. And if you can help them in any way, even if it's something as small and simple as one of these Sophie wristbands, you know, they're like a pound, I think. I could be wrong. They've recently got a whole bunch of new merchandise for download, which happened like last weekend. You know, if you can help them in any way, that's hugely appreciated, because, you know, even the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we get more attention, the sooner we bring more attention to the fact that this is happening, the sooner we can stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.